Now we're actually ready to play our first game, and we'll start by telling you how to set up your field and how to score. Normally the field is an oval shape, but you can use your football or your soccer field. At either end of the field, you'll need to set up your goals. There are 4 poles, each spaced 7 yards apart, with 2 larger poles in the middle and 2 smaller ones on the outside. To score, you must kick the ball between the 2 larger poles. This is a goal and is worth 6 points. If you miss the goal and the ball goes between the tall post and one of the smaller posts on the outside, or is touched before it crosses the line, it is called a behind and is worth 1 point. A typical score could be 5 goals, 4 behinds, for a total of 34 points, versus 2 goals 3, 15 points. In a typical AFL game, both teams usually score around 100 points each. There is no offside rule in footy, so your players will be spread evenly over the entire field. Divide your students equally into offence, midfield and defence. The opposing team will line up in the reverse formation. Players from these positions can actually run wherever they want to on the field, but the game flows much better if the students keep somewhat to their areas. You can rotate students through positions during the course of the game. Our first and most important rule is that there is to be no contact. As soon as someone puts 2 hands on the footy, it's their ball, and everyone else must give them a 5-foot buffer zone to allow them to handball or kick it. However, with no contact, we can't just allow them to run the length of the field, so we introduce the 3-second rule. Students run as fast as they can for 3 seconds before hand passing or kicking off to a teammate. There is one exception to this, and that is when the footy is caught from a kick. When this happens, you can take as long as you like to line up a teammate for a pass or have a shot at goal. If you run off the spot where you caught the ball, then it is play on and you only have 3 seconds to dispose of it. Our second rule is that there can be no diving on the ball. This is a safety rule and prevents students from banging into each other. To pick the ball up from the ground, you must bend over and pick it up from an upright position. There is also no turnover rule in US footy, so if the ball hits the ground, whoever gets it next, it's their ball. Start the game with a tip-off like basketball in the centre of the field between 2 similarly sized players. After goals are scored, the ball is brought back to the centre and recommences with another tip-off. This is a great opportunity to bring in 2 players who haven't yet been involved. If a behind is scored, the defensive team kicks the ball back in from 10 yards in front of their own goal. Lastly, if the ball goes out of bounds, a free kick is awarded against the team to last touch the ball. One of US footy's greatest assets is that it can accommodate many students at the one time, and we've had success with games of 60 a side. But we recommend, where possible, to play games of smaller numbers. 15 a side is a perfect number, resulting in a free-flowing game where everyone gets a lot of opportunities to get the footy. If you have the resources, play multiple games of smaller numbers. And as for your goalposts, you can get them through US footy, or just be inventive and make something up for yourself. Even cones will get you started. There are plenty more rules to the game, but this is enough to get your students started with a basic understanding of the game. It is important for your students to learn the game sequentially, and you can refer to the US footy rules or the lesson plans on usfootykids.com to help you decide when is the best time to implement additional skills and rules. Now let's go over our rules again. As soon as a player gets 2 hands on the footy, everyone else must back away and give them a 5-foot buffer zone. They have 3 seconds to dispose of the ball. Encourage them to run and pass the ball off to their teammates. If they catch a kick, they can take their time and line up a teammate or the goal. If the ball is on the ground, they cannot kick it off the ground or dive on it and must pick the footy up, crouching over from an upright position. Play restarts in the middle of the ground after a goal is scored and is kicked out from defence after a behind is scored. Remember to keep the game moving and to use the stoppages to bring players into the game that haven't yet got involved. Oh, and one more thing. Don't forget to have some fun yourself and get involved. If the ball is stuck down one end for too long, grab it and boot it down the other end. Your students will complain for a couple of seconds, but hey, they'll get over it.